Hello students, this is Sumit Kumar, BB Department, Mawadi College, Ranchi. Today's topic is about India's foreign trade policy, which is also known as EXIM policy. The foreign trade of India is guided by the export-import policy of the Government of India and is regulated by the Foreign Trade Development and Regulation Act 1992. The foreign trade policy contains various decisions taken by the government in this sphere of foreign trade with respect to imports and exports from the country, and more especially export promotion measures, policies and procedures related thereto. It is a set of guidelines and instructions established by DGFT. The full form of DGFT is Directorate General of Foreign Trade in matters related to the import and export of goods in India. Trade policy refers to the complete framework of laws, regulations, international agreements, um, and negotiating stances adopted by the government to achieve legally binding market access for domestic firms. The government has set a long-term vision of making India a major player in the world trade. Foreign trade policy, the short form is FTP, provides the basic policy framework of translating this vision into specific strategies, goals, and targets. The strategic options available for trade policy: free trade policy. It does not impose any restriction on the exchange of goods and services between different countries. It involves complete absence of tariffs, quota, exchange restrictions, taxes, and subsidies on the production, factory use, and consumption. The other kind of trade policy which is adopted by different nations are protective trade policies. It is pursued by a country seeks to maintain a system of trade restrictions with the objective of protecting the domestic economy from the competition of foreign products. The next kind of strategy which can be used as a foreign trade policy by the countries or is used by the countries is inward looking trade policy. The other name is import substitution. It stresses the need for a country to evolve its own style of development and to be the master of its own fate, with restrictions on the movement of goods, services, and people in and out of the country. An inward looking trade policy encourages the development of indigenous technologies appropriate to a country's resource endowment. The other kind of strategy is outward looking trade policy, export led growth. It encourages not only free trade but also the free movement of capital, workers, enterprises, and students. Welcome to the multinational enterprise and an open system of communication. The present foreign trade policy in India is for the period of 5 years, which is from 2015 to 2020. The Union Commerce Ministry, Government of India, announces the Integrated Foreign Trade Policy (FTP) in every 5 years. This policy is updated every year on the 31st of March with some modifications and new schemes. New schemes come into effect on the day of financial year April 1st every year. The foreign trade policy which was announced on April 1st, 2015 is an integrated policy for the period 2015-20. Legal framework for foreign trade of India: Foreign Trade Development and Regulation Act 1992, Foreign Trade Regulation Rules 1993, Foreign Trade Exemption Order 1993, Garments Exports Entitlement Policy 2004, Export Quality Control and Inspection Act 1963, Custom and Central Excise Duties Drawback Rules 1995, Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, Customs and Central Excise Regulations, Export and Import Policy, now called Foreign Trade Policy. Pre-1991 Trade Policy. Before the year 1991, what were the trade policies? Major features of trade policies: and their effect on foreign trade. Inward-looking development strategy, import substitution strategy was used in the first 5-year plan. In the second year plan, highly restrictive policy was there. In 1960s and 70s, imports were partly liberalized with several conditions. In 80s, export promotion schemes were implemented. Export Promotion Council, the Trade Fair Authority of India, cash compensatory schemes, etc. were introduced. What happened in 1991? National income growing at 0.8%. Inflation reached the height of 16.8%. BOP, balance of payment crisis, to the extent of 10,000 crores. India was paying 30,000 crores interest charges. Fiscal deficit more than 7.5%. Deficit financing was 3%. So in this first part, we try to explore the concept of foreign trade policy, and as we have noted down here that in every 5 year, new foreign trade policy with certain changes are introduced with new features for the promotion of export and import. So in the next section, we will see the new foreign trade policy of India, and especially the new foreign trade policy which is applicable from the year 2015 to 2020. Thank you.